Is it possible that one of the biggest guilt triggers for Christians isn't actually banned in the Bible at all? This question hits home for millions. It's personal, confusing, and emotionally loaded. On one side, there's a natural, private, human behavior. On the other, years of sermons, confessions, and church whispers have painted masturbation as a dark, shameful sin, something to fight off and feel bad about. That clash leaves many people drowning in guilt and tangled up in anxiety. This video doesn't tiptoe around the issue, we're diving straight in. First, we'll explore what science and medicine really say about masturbation. Then, we'll crack open the Bible and take a closer look at the verses often used to condemn it. Do they actually say what people claim? Let's find out. My goal isn't to preach, it's to bring clarity. You deserve the truth, so you can decide for yourself, without fear or confusion. But before we get theological, let's lay the groundwork. Is masturbation healthy from a biological and psychological perspective? According to science and medicine, the answer is a loud, confident yes. For decades, research has made one thing clear: masturbation is a normal, healthy part of human sexuality, and it comes with real benefits. For men, the impact is especially important. Multiple studies, including a major long-term one from Harvard, have shown a strong link between frequent ejaculation and a reduced risk of prostate cancer. The theory: it helps clear out potentially harmful substances from the prostate, keeping things running smoothly. But the perks aren't just for men, they're for everyone. Masturbation is a powerful, natural way to relieve stress. During orgasm, your brain releases a rush of endorphins, those feel-good chemicals that boost your mood and ease pain. That wave of calm can leave you feeling relaxed and emotionally balanced. And there's more. Those same hormones act like a natural sleep aid, helping many people fall asleep faster and enjoy deeper, more restful sleep. So, here's the bottom line from science and medicine. Masturbation isn't just normal, it's actually good for you. It supports both your physical health and your mental well-being in powerful ways. Now, while this video dives deep into the emotional and spiritual side of the topic, I get it, many men have concerns that go far beyond guilt. Things like performance, stamina, and staying power are often front and center. If that's something you're dealing with, I want to quickly share a resource that really stood out to me. Now that we've covered the physical side, let's talk about the emotional weight that so many people carry: guilt. If masturbation is so healthy, why does it stir up so much shame, anxiety, and inner conflict? This is where things shift from biology to psychology. The taboo around masturbation, especially in religious communities, creates a deep emotional struggle. When you're taught that a natural urge is sinful, it can make you feel like something inside you is broken or wrong, and that feeling runs deep. This emotional burden isn't just a passing feeling, it has serious consequences. It can trigger chronic anxiety, chip away at self-worth, and even lead to depression. That shame doesn't stay in one corner, it spreads, affecting relationships, confidence, and overall well-being. For some, it can even cause sexual dysfunction later in life, because they've been conditioned to link their own sexuality with fear and negativity. This inner turmoil is the real issue we need to confront. And that leads us to the heart of the matter. Where does this idea of sin actually come from? If science says masturbation is healthy, does the Bible say otherwise? Let's open the scriptures and take a closer look. Many people are convinced the Bible outright forbids masturbation. But when you search for a clear verse that says, "Thou shalt not masturbate," guess what? It's not there. that exact command doesn't exist. Instead, some verses are interpreted to suggest it's sinful, but interpretation isn't the same as direct instruction. Let's examine the two most commonly cited passages. The first is 1 Corinthians 7:2, which says, "But since sexual immorality is occurring, each man should have sexual relations with his own wife, and each woman with her own husband." At first glance, some people take this verse to mean that the only acceptable outlet for sexual desire is sex within marriage, but context matters a lot. The Apostle Paul was writing to the church in Corinth, a city overflowing with sexual chaos. Prostitution, orgies, and adultery were everywhere. His message was a direct response to that wild environment. Paul was encouraging marriage as the sacred and respectful space for sexual connection between people. This verse supports marital intimacy to avoid sexual immorality with others. It's not a blanket condemnation of private, personal behavior. Now, let's look at the second passage that often gets quoted, Hebrews 13:4, which says, "Marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral." Let's break it down. This verse talks about honoring marriage, keeping the marriage bed pure, and condemning adultery and sexual immorality. The focus is crystal clear. It's about loyalty and the sacred bond of marriage. Adultery involves another person and breaks that trust. That's what this passage is warning against: acts that violate the commitment between spouses. It doesn't say that masturbation makes the marriage bed impure. Applying this verse to masturbation stretches its meaning way beyond what it actually says. And here's the key point. Neither of these verses, nor any others in the Bible, explicitly name or forbid masturbation. So if it's not clearly written in Scripture, why is this teaching so widespread? That's the question we need to unpack. It all boils down to interpretation. Over the centuries, religious leaders and scholars have taken broad ideas like lust or impurity and built entire doctrines around them. They've looked at verses about lustful thoughts and stretched them to include masturbation, creating rules that go far beyond what the actual text says. It's kind of like interpreting a country's constitution. Two legal experts can read the same document and come to totally different conclusions. One judge might see a right to privacy, while another doesn't. The words haven't changed, but the human interpretation has. Sacred texts work the same way. Different denominations and theologians have shaped their own traditions and beliefs over time. That means the guilt many people feel isn't coming from a direct command from God. It's coming from human interpretation and religious tradition. Recognizing that difference is the first step toward breaking free from shame that doesn't belong to you. So, where does that leave us? Let's break it down. Science shows that masturbation is a healthy, natural, and beneficial part of human sexuality. The guilt and shame tied to it can be emotionally damaging and lead to serious distress. The Bible doesn't explicitly forbid masturbation. The verses often used to condemn it are, when read in full context, clearly focused on interpersonal sexual acts, like adultery and fornication, not private, personal behavior. Just like anything in life, food, work, exercise, and activity can cross the line into unhealthy territory if it becomes a compulsion. If it feels out of control, becomes a way to avoid real-life challenges, or starts hurting your relationships and responsibilities, then it's time to take a closer look at that behavior. The secret, as with everything, is balance and intention. The act itself isn't sinful or shameful, it's how and why it's done that matters. Honoring the body you've been given and caring for your sexual health isn't a betrayal of faith, it's a form of respect. You can release the guilt that's been passed down through human tradition and step into a healthier, more grounded understanding of yourself. Your well-being is important, it truly matters. If this video helped clear things up for you, give it a like and share it with someone who might need this message. Drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts on this deeply personal and often misunderstood topic. Thanks for watching.